Hi guys, I am Malika from Platinum Fund. We are a startup incubator that has helped many startups launch and succeed. We've gathered a lot of information that can help your IT startup reach your goals and avoid pitfalls. In a previous video, we were talking about what to do if a venture capital firm says no to your funding request and how to turn this no into yes. In this video, we will cover what to do if you have no contacts for venture capital firms and explore different ways to get them. Be sure to watch till the end of the video to learn how you can develop a professional network of investors and get your company off the ground as soon as possible. What can you do if you have a startup and need funding, but you haven't made any contacts for funding? Where do you even start? This is the problem of the majority of startups. Finding a VC that can match your company can be difficult, and establishing professional contacts is hard when you're just starting out. You might not have working history or reputation that normally gives VCs confidence. When investors hear about your company from somebody in their professional contacts, like another VC, entrepreneur, or even an angel investor, they are much more likely to consider funding you. But if you don't have a lot of professional relationships with industry players, a VC will be much more cautious about investing. An individual VC normally funds just a couple of companies per year. These companies are chosen from the 20 to 30 startups they meet during the year, but there are hundreds of startups that want to get funding. It can be hard to stand out from the crowd, especially when so many startups are created by ex-industry players looking to enter a new specialty. In most cases, VCs rely on their network of contacts for recommendations. Their contacts help them choose from hundreds of new startups because of their reputation. After all, unwise investments are not beneficial to them, and they're looking to earn money too. That's why, if you still believe that you can submit your business plan to each and every contact you randomly find, you are wrong. So wrong. But if you don't have contacts and you cannot send your business plan out to contacts you do find, how can you start to build a network that will yield results? First, grow your professional network. It's time to start networking and attending events such as the ones you can find on OnChain Lab. This tool lets you filter events based on your criteria and save them in the list of favorites. If you don't like using a service, check out Events Today bot on the Telegram chat app. We will leave some links in the description below. If that's still not enough, well, you're in the right place. Drop us an email to get an extensive database of top IT companies' founders. Check out the description below the video if you need some instructions. So what's important here is that you need to get in touch with the right people and do it personally. Even if you contact thousands of entrepreneurs, if you are not in anyone's network, it won't help you. You have to find those rare people who can put you in a VC firm's good graces. Get those people's trust, and you're on your way to getting a firm's trust. There is a lot of hungry fish in this pond, and you need to find a way to rise above. Remember to ask yourself, why should they pick me? Prepare everything for a meeting with an investor well in advance of the actual meeting. You are going to need a detailed business plan and a pitch that will impress. The best approach is to have a semi or fully working product, service, or prototype. If it's not in beta or a very attractive alpha, your job is going to be so much harder. Better yet, if you already have people using your product, even if it's just beta testers, you're going to fare a lot better. Investors want to know what they're about to give money to, especially in a world of scams, crowdfunded vaporware, and NFT projects that don't go anywhere. Provide some evidence that the product is in the process of adoption and evolution. Show them how your product can change a person's day-to-day or a company's established operation. If you get them interested, you're over halfway there. But let's take a step back because we are talking about funding. What if you don't have anything to show, let alone the funds to develop something tangible? That means your presentation needs to be really shiny. Polish it, include images, mock-ups, research, and whatever else you can show that your idea is worth funding. It's important that you don't go crazy either. Don't make a long business plan. Investors usually don't have the attention spans to devote to a new product, especially if you don't have anything real to show. They will be making a decision based on a presentation of 10 to 20 slides. Make those slides easy on the eyes, persuasive, simple, and informative. Sometimes less is more. By the way, some of your potential investors will want a long business plan, so it's good to have one prepared for sharing. But if you get to this point, it likely means the investor has concerns, so prepare yourself to walk away as they're likely not going to say yes. It's time to do some research on venture capital firms and investors. Look for investors that are already interested in your sector. It's not productive to pitch an investor on education or healthcare if you are developing a metaverse. You would have to explain everything, which leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth. There are many ways to get the right contacts, but the first approach should be to visit specialized events and network with people you meet there. Remember, great networking events can be found on On-Chain Lab. Another approach is simply go work. Another option is to get a job in a large tech company like Google, Meta, or Apple. This is going to be top level when it comes to making contacts, though the experience will also be great for selling yourself. Get some experience and go to work in a startup that has received venture funding or jump right into your own. There are, of course, other options, but these are the ones that are most viable. For one reason or another, maybe none of these avenues work for you. Hey, that's okay. There are alternatives. If you are still studying, join some extracurricular groups, bonus points if they're related to the field you want to work in. You will find contemporaries there, and some of those people are going to go on to work in VC firms or know people who already work there. Every person you meet has a network, and by making friends and acquaintances, you are gaining access to the network. Remember to read blogs about VC firms and investments. These blogs will often explain what they want from a startup. Sometimes they may even invite readers to comment, which is also a way to make impressions. Every venture capital fund differs in how they communicate with people online. Reading their blogs will help you to understand their thought process. Communicating with them will help you to get a clearer idea of what they're interested in when it comes to a startup investment opportunity. Sometimes VC firms can solicit their readers' email pitches. Some VC funds prefer to communicate on Facebook or Twitter. In such cases, you can get in touch with them there. It is a good idea for every startup to have its own blog. You can publish updates on the progress of your company, your opinions, and other interesting things that are going on in your professional sphere. Look at blogs like an additional resource that can attract attention. If you're a programmer, you can contribute to valuable open source products. It's a way to build notable software that others can use and create a reputation independently on what jobs you are going to take in the future. If the product has a lot of users, you can even use it to explain to an investor why they have to choose your startup for funding. In most cases, it works much better than carefully designed pitch. And again, for the third time, Do not forget to go to events. All those events can be found on On-Chain Lab or through Events Today bot. Finally, if none of these options worked, you can check whether you can get funding from an angel investor. Angel funding comes from individuals and usually gives smaller sums than VC firms. On the upside, they normally have investor contacts, and after you receive angel funding, VCs may soon follow. In the very worst case, you can work part-time or get a loan from the bank to fund your startup. Stay focused and stay motivated. Startups are not easy, but the only failure is giving up. Now, get out there and start looking for your next fund. In the next video, we will talk about the one major thing every startup needs to succeed. Stay tuned!